Do you feel distracted, like inability to concentrate at the task at hand and get things done? Maybe you notice your mind is keeping jumping from idea or thing to another, lacking the mental clarity, example, to really know what you should be doing and prioritizing. If you're feeling like this, in this video I will tell you why that's happening, and I think this is this root cause that I haven't really heard people talking about, people don't know. But also, if you watch until the end of this video, I will give you 2 practical tips how to go from distracted mind to more focused mind, and you can start doing these things immediately after watching this video to get more focused right today and get more things done. But let's start by like this word distraction. Now, I hear many times, and I have noticed myself many times saying like, oh, I cannot focus because I'm so distracted. I caught myself from this, like that I had this identity of like, oh, my mind is so distracted. I have always been so distracted. I noticed that it was even part of kind of my identity. But this doesn't really make sense. Like, I cannot focus because I'm distracted. It's like you would say that I cannot be strong because I'm weak. It really doesn't sound right when you use different words for it. It's like, yes, you are not strong right now because you are weak right now. But because you're weak right now doesn't mean that you couldn't become strong. So the thing is that being distracted, feeling distracted, is a symptom. It's not the obstacle why you cannot focus. It's just a symptom. See, being focused, being distracted, these are 2 opposites for each other, like weak and strong, dark and light, distracted, focused. And now, what is the root cause behind why we end up being distracted instead of being more focused? And that's quite simple thing that will click quite quickly when you start to think about it and start to really think your life. It's overstimulation. Basic example that everyone in nowadays society goes through is the social media, internet, so on. You know, all the messages that pops up, all the emails that come. It gives so much stimulation, so many messages, so many things, jumping from one thing to another. They're so damn stimulated, literally like dopamine released over and over and over again. So it prompts our mind to be in distracted state, where it's like we are training our mind to be better and better in jumping from one thing to another. Because if our environment is like that, if we are exposed to all these stimulations, what we are training for ourselves is multitasking. We are training ourselves to be able efficiently jump from one thing to another really fast, and we are really good nowadays in that. And what I noticed when I read about this thing that a distraction is symptom and it's caused by overstimulation, it immediately clicked for me. Last spring, I was in Lapland, in the wilderness with my wife. For 3 days we were in this wilderness hut, and we were off from internet. Like, only things we used our phone was like taking pictures, checking the weather, making some notes when things popped up, and I'm sending a couple, images to family and friends. But we didn't check email, we didn't check social media. We spent really little time on our phone. And we were in the wilderness. We were in this hut. There was like no stimulation. Like, the biggest stimulation we had was like we saw reindeers. And what I noticed the 3 days was like, I found much more focus and calm and mental clarity. Because prior to these 3 days, it was a common thing that on the evenings, when I went to sleep with my wife, that she would fall asleep like within 5 or 10 minutes. And it would take for me like even almost like half an hour to fall asleep. But there in Lapland, I would go to bed, And then my wife would be like, yeah, I will do this one, two things. I will be, in 5 minutes there. And I would fall asleep before my wife could even get to bed. And I would easily sleep 9 hours. And I felt like, oh, damn, I slept so well. I noticed my mental clutter were going away. My thoughts were getting better. I felt much more relaxed. I felt like I'm actually like recovered. And the thing was simply that I wasn't stimulated. There was really no things that stimulated me throughout the day. I couldn't go to social media to jump from one thing to another every 30 seconds. I wasn't stimulated by having to juggle 10 different projects or things in my mind. No one was messaging me. I wasn't checking email or messages. And the thing why we get so easily into this overstimulation loop is thing called novelty bias. Our brain is or our body is nervous system is made in a way where it rewards us for new things. Whether it's a new idea, new piece of information we encounter, we really like those new things. It releases more dopamine and so on. So if you think, example, about your behavior in social media, how do you behave usually, especially when you get caught in this, distracted, mind, you're just jumping from one thing to another mindlessly. We are always going after something new, checking that is there new messages, is there new tweets, jumping from video about that topic to another video on that topic. And once you get stuck into this place of mind of distraction, what I call it's like distraction breeds distraction, because you might have had this experience yourself where you might catch yourself that, oh, I'm being distracted. Maybe I should be doing something. I don't want to be distracted. I would actually want to get things done. But then you are unable to pull yourself back together and focus. And then you end up just, doing the distractions, being into social media and so on. So it props your mind in a place where it's reactive, it's craving for the new thing, the next dopamine rush. So it breeds more distraction, it wants more distraction, it wants more rewards. You have like, if you start your day with, scrolling your email or checking social media, what you are warming up your mind and setting up your mind for that day is like this distracted mind. Sometimes we might need that. Sometimes we might be in a situation where we need to be able to juggle 10 different things and do these little tasks here and there. But most of the time we would want to be in the focused deep work state where we actually get things done. We have more mental clarity. We are not burning our brain with all the stimulation. And I think it's just an addiction. You do it often enough. You teach your body to work in that way. You teach your body, mind, brain, nervous system to crave for that distraction and those chemicals. And that's why it's hard to pull out of it, even though you're noticing what's happening. And the 2 practical steps you can start doing right now, you can start experimenting right after you finish watching these videos. Number 1 is, quite simple. Takes the stimulation away. It might be like, if you're watching TV, throw the TV out. If you notice that you're spending 3 hours a day watching YouTube videos, delete the YouTube app from your phone. Set these blocking apps and software to block your access from there. Make this experiment of like, let's say, okay, I will drop YouTube for 1 week. Like, let's just see what happens, how I feel. This experiment on yourself. Whatever that distraction or the thing is that overstimulates you the most, is it that you are checking too often WhatsApp conversations or different group chats where there's always new messages coming. In that case, set yourself few times a day when you check the messages, when you react to messages, instead of checking them, 5 times per hour or more often. That's the easiest way to get more clarity, more focus. And the good thing about this is that usually you can take the stimulation away with like single decision. Example, throwing the TV out, or putting it in a closet for 1 week, deleting that app, setting some app blocker to block that social media site. Sometimes it might need a little bit conscious effort at first to get used to this, like, okay, now I'm not checking to YouTube for a while. And it takes a couple days to notice the difference, get used to this, like, oh, I'm not anymore checking my phone the first thing in the morning. You might put like what I used when I started to get out of this habit of checking my phone on the first thing in the morning. I put a note on top of my phone, like, no phone. So on the morning when I woke up, the only things I would do is like check my aura, sleep stats, put my phone alarm away, and I would start my day without my phone, doing my morning routine, going for a run, starting my work on laptop before opening my messages, before opening my phone. And it was so good for my mind to start my day by thinking focusedly, thinking with clarity before being exposed to stimulation. And the second thing is work mindfully. I have noticed that it's so easy you might be working on something you should be doing, but you are doing it by jumping from one thing to another. Example, if you're researching some subject or want to learn about something, be mindful that you don't jump from one thing to another, that you really watch videos about that topic. If you're working, really focus getting that one part of the work done before you move to the next one. Because you might be doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, but you're doing it a little bit like, I do a little bit of this first, then I do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. It might be something like you're cleaning your apartment, and focus really first getting that one thing done before you jump on the another. It's so easy to be hoovering, then organize a little bit some items here and there. No, start by example, okay, I will organize the items first, then I will hoover, instead of juggling between those things. I hope these couple practical tips were helpful. I hope something new popped up in your mind that makes you go like understand yourself better, help you catch yourself from this behavior better. And I'm happy to hear, some feedback about this video. Was this helpful? What kind of thoughts popped up? And we will see you on the next video. Bye bye.